No problem.
That's a weird
You know?
question.
I have this feeling that many people no longer heal privately.
Why we suddenly think we can heal publicly in this time and age is a very big question. Yes, I struggle with anxiety, social anxiety, and so trust me, there are really, really bad days. I know that when I am reaching my peak, I know when to just say to myself, Divine,
Just rest.
take a break. Your body's not a firewood.
More than enough firewood.
Bruh, no firewood. Like,
I've been scared that if people see the real me, they won't like me as much as they do right now.
I think the very first problem is you don't like yourself.
Welcome back to episode 6 of Unfiltered. On today's episode, I'm having Anrika. So how are you doing, Divine?
Very, very well, thank you. And you?
I'm good. So how's life been?
It's been live, chilling, final year.
Yeah.
Most of my day consists of the regular things. Doing good.
So I don't want to generalize things, but recently, I have this feeling that many people no longer heal privately. At a lot of times, they feel like for their pain, people need to know about their pain. And a lot of times, they end up not actually healing. It gets worse. The comment section on Twitter or Instagram or TikTok is very bad. But at the end of the day, they end up being in the worst state that when it started. So what's that about? And how do you think that can be coped?
I personally believe that you cannot heal publicly. Looking at institutions that help people who are struggling mentally, there is this system where the moment you're admitted, you are secluded from the public completely, maybe for a few months or a few days, where the whole goal is that they're letting you have time away from the pressure on the world to heal. Why we suddenly think we can heal publicly in this time and age is a very big question. But I certainly believe that somebody started it. Somebody said, I am going to feel myself and talk about things I'm struggling with, just not because I want to help other people, not because I want to, not because I have a goal in mind. I'm supposed to do it.
So you think they just want to clear their holes? You just want to speak out?
Probably, yes. Yes, I think that is also a factor.
Yeah.
Which brings me to where are your friends? Where's your community? Where are people that you can run to? And I'm not going to be pretentious and say, okay, everybody has those people.
A second.
Exactly, they can run to. So those that do not have that or have seen people, okay, they find it now. It's a norm now, You go on social media, somebody is talking to us about maybe their struggles and they find comfort in doing it. And that's perfectly fine. If, as I usually say, that's what cooks your do me. No problem.
That's a weird question. Okay.
Yeah, but then I don't know. I generally do not know. I can't say, okay, this is why. Probably, yes, we struggle to be present in our day-to-day lives rather than do the things that we are struggling with. We rather go online. We rather scroll. We rather watch people live their lives and live our own life. But what would make somebody feel their struggles without the aim of enlightening others? I genuinely cannot say. I don't know.
Okay. Before, authenticity used to mean honesty. But now it's like a brand now because we have a lot of content creators today. Most times you can't go about 5 minutes without seeing somebody holding a camera, somebody recording something. How do you separate your personal life from your professional life? Is that possible? Is there a way to give out?
There definitely is a way. So to be clear, you're asking for a public figure that has made money or creates content or still creating content from publicizing their personal life. How did they now along the way try to separate their personal life from professional life? The fact is your professional life is your personal life at this point. Your content is your life. And that was what you started with.
Yeah.
And not to put a blame on you or anything, but that's what you started with. But then let's say along the line you want to switch type of content to put out there. I think it's going to be difficult. For example, let's say I follow this influencer and what she usually posts about is how she struggles with motherhood.
Okay.
And she posts about, all her kids and how they are different in their own way, how they're unique, all of that. That's her personal life. Maybe this particular person, they didn't filter anything. They shows everything. And then I'm already invested in that. If I'm coming to the page, meaning I want to see what's happening to your family, I want to see hot gist, what's happening. If the next episode or the next video you're going to show me is missing those juicy details, I'm detached. That was what I was expecting. So I think it's going to be very hard. It's possible.
Okay.
But it's going to be very hard. And I think if the person is able to separate those two lives together, they're going to find an audience that would respect that, especially when they are honest with their viewers. I think that's something I would respect. Maybe they give a quick video saying, okay, guys, I want to separate my personal life from my professional life. So from now on, the content I'll put out there will be very different. So just a warning, just to give you, just let you know before time that's going to be happening. Then it's not the viewer's decision to stay or not stay.
So now I want to ask you as a person. Sometimes, do you just use your phone? Do you scroll you just scroll because you want to avoid life for some periods? Because a lot of times, people respect, they think they have it all figured out, but that's a lie. So I want to ask you as a person, how do you deal with it? When things get rough, yes. When things get rough, what's your solution?
My solution, when things get hard, faith.
So you're big on faith?
Not too heavy on faith.
Okay.
Friendships. My friends are my biggest struggle. And my family too. FFF, literally. My faith, my family, and my friends. And this is not just for me. I've seen this happen. I've seen this as a structure for people around me.
Okay.
And it works.
It works.
It definitely works. Your faith is very important because it gives you hope, gives you a reason for living, gives you a purpose for your life.
Mm-hmm.
If things get hard, and when things get hard for me, my response isn't to give up. My response is to wait it out. It's what's happening. To sit down, and because I'm also a logical person, and to shatter unpopular opinions that faith makes delusional as a lie.
Faith makes you
delusional. I think most people think, okay, being a Christian or being religious clouds you from reality or from the real things of life, just very much a lie. Because what faith does, it prepares you for the struggle that you face.
Okay.
It gives you something to fall back on, something to walk on. Okay. Do you understand? So for me, when I'm going through a really hard time, I go back to my faith. I go back to who am I, essentially. What do I want from my life? And that goes back to how I relate with God and the structure that He has helped me place around my life, which falling back to my next my friends. Do you understand? The friends that I have right now, I can tell you that if you asked me 2 years ago, I said no, I probably would never have been friends with this person.
Okay.
But I personally believe that God ordained these things to happen in my life. Gave me these people that surrounded me and helped me every time. Now to answer your questions with a real life example. I don't think I can remember the day exactly, but I think it's a Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? Yeah. I was coming back from class. Mind you, it was around 4 p.m. Everybody's exhausted around 4 p.m. And I'm a friend all year, so my project wasn't going as smoothly. I wanted it to. I realized that the work I did for almost 5 days was a waste. And for fun, yesterday, just that's a very difficult thing to deal with. And mind you, my friends are my roommates. Okay. I walked into the room and I was sad, and they literally spent 30 minutes cheering me up. And it wasn't like they said, oh, do everything fine? They just cheered me, just knew what to do to cheer me up. And those are my friends, those are my bride or guys. Do you understand? So how I deal with hard times, literally my friends, I didn't even have to say, they just know we've grown with each other so much.
Something's wrong with you, right?
Yes, we've grown so much that I know that okay, something is definitely up. They don't have to say, okay, it's this, is this. They just know how to help. And mind you, this is something that I woke up to. No, we've grown with each other. We've had bad times, we've had good times, and we've walked through our friendship. So you're probably watching this and you're like, oh, she probably had it easy. No. Trust me, no, I've had bad friendships. I've had really hard times with these friends. It's just how we've grown with each other.
Yeah.
And then lastly, my family, now, because I'm in school, obviously, they're not what's fine, they're in front of me, essentially. But then the values they've given me, how I grew up, being able to just call my sister and go, oh, it's been a very bad day. And then she takes me back to my first F.
Okay.
It's called. Exactly. Or my second, just okay, I'm not there for you to but your friends are there. That kind of thing. So that's literally it's my 3 Fs: faith, family, friends.
When you're exhausted, sometimes, do you ever beat yourself when you want to take a break? And you tell yourself, you need a break, but you always beat yourself up.
No.
You take your break when you need it.
A break. I take a break.
Okay.
Let's make a joke. It might be a last one thing.
Okay.
The
last one.
Yes, I am. And then because I'm around, I think that's a major factor in a lot of conversations with me and my friends. There's unconsciously, whether you know it or not, the role you play in your family affects your whole life. Trust me, as a firstborn, middle child, or as a last child, trust me, you respond to life differently. Yes. So I think maybe I might be wrong. Maybe as the last child, I grew up with, not having to deal with a lot of problems as much as the other kids probably had to. So I take my breaks. And also because when about 3 years ago, 3 years, yes, I struggled with anxiety.
Okay.
Social anxiety. And so, trust me, there were really, really bad days. But then my faith and growing in knowledge, learning about anxiety, learning about it, and learning how to deal with it along the way. I know that when I'm reaching my peak, I know when to just say to myself, Divine,
just rest.
Take a break. And if maybe I do not see it, I repeat. My friends tell me, Divine, it's time for you to take a break. And they can still tell me, and it's still my decision to say, okay, I'm listening to you guys. So that's where you still play a role. Your friends can tell you, family can tell you, and then you still try to listen. Bro, that's on you. But then for me, when I trust their judgments. So when I say, Divine, let's take a break. I actually study my environment. I'm like, okay, Divine, it's been a very long week.
Yeah.
Take a break. And I don't feel bad about it because the best version of you is the rested you. I'm not saying, okay, sleep. No, I'm saying to be rest. We have like a proper rest. Rest your mind, rest your soul, rest your body. The Nigerian slang, your body's not a firewood.
Body not firewood.
Right, no firewood. Like rest it. You cannot keep, it would backfire. I think I have a lot of friends where I tell them back to back. Your body will tell you that it's tired. And when it tells you it's tired, it won't tell you nicely. You just break down. The next thing you're sick. And then you're forced to take the break you would have taken. Do you understand? If you took those breaks bit by bit, you won't have the break that you're presently having. So no, I do not feel bad for taking breaks.
I feel like you were directly talking to me because the past 2 months, I've been walking around with that. I've got this in control phase because I've started a lot of things, right? Even just this. But in my head, it's like, Christmas is coming. Just finish the job, sort it out.
No, I think it's something you have to teach yourself because if you think the problems are not now, check out 5 years from now.
Yeah.
Check out 10 years from now.
When you have kids and all.
Then you have people depending on you. Where you have people depending on you being well. People are depending on you being okay. Imagine you waking up and then your mom just goes, I'm not doing it again. I'm tired. She can't. Yes,
you have to do.
You get what you're saying. You have to do because people are actually depending on you. So if she herself doesn't learn how to take those intentional short breaks, when she does take that big break, it would affect a lot of things. So for you, more Christmas might come and another one will come in. Then your break is no longer there.
Okay. So I want to read a few statements to you.
Okay.
I want you to tell me whether it's relatable or not. And you can just give me like 2 lines on it. Like, has this happened to you or not? So, first one. I've been scared that if people see the real me, they won't like me so much. So I hide a bit. I tune it down a bit.
Repeat, please.
I've been scared that if people see the real me, they won't like me as much as they do right now.
I think the very first problem is you don't like yourself.
Okay. So the first thing you think is,
You don't like yourself. And you may feel like I'm attacking you or anything, choose to believe you don't like yourself. Because if you really sit down and get to know yourself,
okay,
you realize that you are loved, that you are special, and that there's something about you that nobody else has. And that you would learn to appreciate yourself in such a way that if somebody else appreciates you, it means that they're enough for you. Nobody has to tell. If I give you $100 bill, nobody has to tell you to keep it.
yeah.
So yeah, that's it. Just
Okay. You have posted on your status, it could be IG, could be WhatsApp. I can't sleep, like very late in the midnight. And the sole purpose of that is because you want someone to ask you what's wrong. It's not because you can't actually sleep. You just need attention. You just need somebody reaching out to you.
well, that would definitely be like 3 years ago.
Okay.
Not anymore now. If I want somebody to reach out to me, and if my friends not around, like I said, maybe because I've grown very self-sufficient, which in itself is not a good thing, and it's not a bad thing. But let me ask a question to that time when it did happen.
Yes.
It happened, yes. I'm not going to deny the fact that yes, I probably posted something and I said, okay, I didn't really mean it.
Yeah.
I just wanted somebody to respond and say something about it. Yeah, it's happened. And we did not, we're human beings, but we're also grown. We're built, that's the right word. We're built for relationships. I think we always feel like if something happens, somebody must do something. Somebody. Connection, exactly, that's it. There's always this need for connection. So, yeah.
That leads me to the next question. Your statement on self-sufficiency. I have been the strong friend for so long that I don't know how to be vulnerable anymore. That you're the one that's, most likely when your friends break down, you're the one they run to. So you have lost that vulnerability. Is that you?
Is that me?
Yeah.
Not in the general sense of it, but I think we've all been in cases like that. Or who are continuously dependent on us and we feel like we have nobody else to depend on.
Okay.
And when I was in such a situation, how did I react to it? I think vulnerability is a choice. You may have been in a position that unconsciously you were put in. Maybe you're not having to be vulnerable to anybody again. Probably you were the most how do I put it? Maybe you're the most understanding in the friend group.
Okay.
And everybody comes to you for the understanding friend. Okay. They wanted somebody to understand you too.
Yeah.
And then maybe unconsciously you became the understanding friend when nobody understood. I think it's time for you to speak up.
Okay.
One person. I want to be vulnerable, but I don't know how to be vulnerable too. Which brings us back to that friendship, the importance of connection, the importance of finding people who get you. Not when it's bad, not when it's good, but when it is bad. And telling that person, okay, hello guys, I know I've been that friend who listens, but now I want to be listened to. I want to be weak, and then you be strong for me. I think that's just goes back to communication. Now that's still vulnerability.
Yes, no.
Because communicating with them is still vulnerability in some sense of the way. So I think just take that bold step. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It is trust me, it's a lot. But then I think for your good and for the good of the strength of your friendship, so your relation, others, open up.
Next one is, I've stayed friends with someone because I want to avoid drama. Like you feel like it's somebody that if I step on the wrong tones, if I step on the person's tones, the person is going to shade me, the person is going to basically embarrass me. So you just stayed friends with that person.
Stayed friends. Or stayed close to the person. Friendship is a very big word. It's a lot to ask for someone when you say, let's be friends. So when you stayed, I don't think that person is your friend. I think you might have stayed connected to the person, maybe stayed around the person, but say that you guys are friends. That's a stretch. But I get you. Maybe you're a people pleaser.
Okay.
and you don't like drama,
Okay.
and much worse, you hate embarrassment, you hate confrontation. So rather than have to deal with those things, you'd rather survive. I think yes, you'd rather just stay on that path that okay, maybe no, but trust me, one day, that
Yeah.
day will come. That day would come when they would embarrass you, when you would
So it's a matter of time.
It's a matter of time. Same thing back to the whole breakdown situation.
Okay.
Deal with it in great sense. So when it does what's the word I would use? When it does come together, it's easier. It's easier to deal with it. So in a situation whereby you are friends with somebody, you confessing your friend, and you are scared of questioning my guy, just maybe I'm trying to not be subjective, but then I'm going to be subjective. Like for me, if that's a situation, I will separate myself from you. I'm sorry. But how much I value myself and my time, I wouldn't let somebody just take such a hold over me like that. No,
I like
take a
that.
break.
So I want to ask you a question because we've spoken about coping with ourselves. Now I want to deal with how we cope with others. Why do we run away from people that genuinely want to know us?
I would like to assume that it's a trauma response.
Okay. So there's something behind that.
Every action I need to take, it's product of a mind
Okay.
or your thought process or about something that you imbues. Okay. For someone that you're finding it difficult to allow people into your life.
Yeah.
If I were to meet somebody like that, first thing I would ask them is, how are your past relationships? What did someone do to you? What did someone show you? And makes you assume that people don't need to know who you really are. And then I would respond according to how they define me. But mostly I would assume that it's a trauma response. Really, like I said before, if you know how important you are, if you truly spend enough time with yourself, you would know that you are worth getting to know. I would tell you just as you are worth getting to know. And your relationship with others is usually a product of relationship with yourself. Honestly. So ask yourself why. What past relationships did you have that makes you assume that people shouldn't get to know you? And if you do have a bad character, I think people with bad character I don't think they hide from relationships. Forgive me, I might be wrong. I feel like they have a lot of relationships.
Okay.
You can put to that people. I'm sorry, that was very me. That was very me. But then I think it's people who I feel like it's a hot response.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that brings me to my last question. Right now on campus, a lot of times when we talk with people, I'm talking about relationships now as well. A boy and a girl. Most times it feels like forever feels unrealistic. Most times it feels temporal now. So those vulnerabilities, can it still stand in our generation when you know that most times you're doubting whether this person actually means well for me? So can you exactly be vulnerable?
Yes. I think I forgot to mention it's the last question that's concerned vulnerability. Vulnerability is very intentional. They are not separate from each other. They're intertwined. Vulnerability is intentionality. I repeat, vulnerability is intentionality. And for a relationship between a boy and a girl, I believe you mean a romantic relationship.
Yes.
I think vulnerability is very, very much possible.
Okay.
But it still depends on the both of you. How much intentional you are to being vulnerable with each other. Obviously, vulnerability will not start the first date or the second. It wouldn't show in the first date or second, but it would start in the first date, in the second date, in the third date. The moment you meet somebody and you believe that this is somebody this is the sorry, this is the flesh of my bone, the bone of my bone. If you get it, then I think it is now it's personal decision to say, okay, I want to be vulnerable with you. I think you must also back to communication again. I meet the person, I'm telling you, okay, I genuinely believe that we can do something together. I believe in the future that we can have. So in that, I'm going to invest in our relationship by being vulnerable. Now, I've been saying that and saying investing, it's a decision. Even in your regular friendships with people, so it's a decision to be vulnerable with somebody. You can talk to somebody 12 hours a day, you're not vulnerable. You're just yapping to each other, you're ranting, probably just okay, but then you're not vulnerable. Vulnerability is an intentional act. You're just telling yourself, Divine, I'm going to make a decision to be intentional with this person because I see the future in our friendship. So I think yes, and I have seen it one-on-one. There are families and there are friendships, there are relationships I've seen both parties be vulnerable with each other, and it's still fought back with intentionality.
When I said that was my last question, when you said something that made me really curious now. So, you as a person, you do it like a football match. That if I'm vulnerable with you must be vulnerable to yours. Like, for you to be openly vulnerable, comfortable with somebody, does the person have to expose their own things too?
Like I said before, releasing an investment. I am right in the middle, and that is because I am working on myself. Do you understand? I didn't wake up to this. It's intentional.
No, I never knew any of this. I just had this feeling that you would be the perfect person for something like this. I never knew that you were actively working on this. I understand because you're different. I say you're different because not many people, most people that are social, you have this, there's a bit of an, I don't want to use the word unserious vibe with them, but what's the word to use? There's a seriousness to you. Yes, a fun part to you. A lot of times I'm just walking around and I see you leading meetings in gazebo, talking with people. And I'm like, how does she exactly have this in control? Like, how did she work on this? Because I can just be walking past and I see you. I know that voice very clearly. So, how's that been?
Well, to roll back for a bit of honesty, so people can. So in case if anybody else out there in the university assumes the same, this is my response. When I first came into Bells, I was very social. First, I did UPF, and then I think I was that social person because naturally I'm extroverted. But then I also had, like I said, before, anxiety. So there were the up days, the down, and the ups were the highs were high, and the lows were lows.
Yeah.
You understand? But then, like I mentioned, my faith is a very big factor. My faith is the center of how my life revolves.
God before everything.
God in the middle of everything. So then my walk with God has helped shape everything in my life. Okay. So I went from having the high highs, low lows to finding a balance between those two. There were not much low lows. And the high highs were managed very well. And when they were not, I would go back to my book and then go divine. That was you could do this better. You could have done this better. You could work on this. You could work more on your control. You could work more on how you treat people. You could work more on your kindness. You could work more on your patience. And that's an intentional. I think this is 3 years of back to back me working on myself. Do you understand? So I think, and this is still me still working on myself. There's still so much I need to work on. And if you know me personally, you know there's so much I'm still working on. So yes, practically that is it.
So what's a lovely conversation we've had now. So
thank you.
I want you to talk to our audience just about it. Maybe healing isn't about deleting apps. It's not about removing people from your life. Maybe it's actually about admitting what you're going through. That's the first step. That's exactly what I've heard from you today. And also, you're not especially not today. Everybody is going through something.
I personally believe that if you are going through something right now, which I think everybody is, I would say one thing: be one with yourself. We are in a detached society where everybody is comfortable having 3 different apps that sees 3 different sides of you. Let your Instagram reflect your WhatsApp, and let your WhatsApp reflect your Twitter. Let your YouVersion app reflect your Instagram. Let your YouVersion app reflect your WhatsApp. I'm tired of meeting people who are different in different ways. I want to meet you on Monday. I meet you on Tuesday and still see the same person, still see that kindness, still see that honesty. Like you mentioned, authenticity. And that comes from intentional act to be one with yourself, and how I become one with myself in my faith, because I genuinely believe that every human being is attached to a purpose, and our purpose is connected to who God is. And if you do not know that, then I'm just letting you know that the only way you can thrive in the depth of who you are is by being one with yourself. Stop trying to separate yourself. You cannot have genuine friendships until you are one with yourself. I'm genuinely being serious with you, because ask the friends around you, ask for responses. How do you really think I am? I think everybody's scared to answer that question. Ask your top 5 friends, how do you really see me? It will shock you.
So this has been Adigun Filtered. As always, keep learning, keep growing, and keep taking action. I'll be watching your journey. Make it count.